Hi guys, and welcome to Guild Wars 2 Daily. Today, the footage in the background is from me because the beta just started. Literally, I got in from work and the beta had started, so yeah, it was brilliant. I just managed to log straight in and start playing. I'm bringing you some footage today, not Q&A or anything like that, but a little bit of a guide and a little bit of a look at some of the new content that's been released for the beta, so you guys know where to find it. The underground dungeons that exist now in World vs. World. So, as you can see here, I've just literally loaded into World vs. World. I started the video from where the Asura gates are at the start. And this is exactly how you get underground. It took me a long time to figure this out, namely because when I started playing, everything was still neutral in World vs. World. Literally everything was neutral and barely anyone was about. So the keep, the main keep that you own, hadn't even been captured for us yet. So we had to do that first, and even then I didn't realise that the entrance was here. So what you want to do is go to your main keep in the Eternal Battlegrounds, assuming that you actually own it, and well, I suppose you could try and get in if you didn't own it. But anyway, get into your keep, and what you want to do is come into the centre of the keep. You'll find the entrance around here on the left, not actually outside the keep or in the grounds. You'll actually notice just at the front there's this huge kind of ruined area with loads of stuff and little areas that are underground. I thought the entrance would be there, but it's not. There are a lot of places, it seems, littered around World vs. World at this point that will allow you to go underground for brief periods of time, but this is the main area. So you'll find this long staircase into a very dark, foreboding looking room with a single torch at the bottom, and you'll climb down. This is something interesting they seem to have added. There's a gate here now, just underground. So this is actually another area. This gate can be broken. This is another area that enemies can attack your main keep from, which is really, really interesting. Or your main keep in the Eternal Battlegrounds as far as it goes. So you've got a portal there, which don't worry, we'll go back to in a second and we'll have a walk through. But there's this keep now. So you can actually be attacked by the side, sort of through the water. This looks like a very underground area, but what you actually find here, there you go, as I turn the corner, this is just another way into your keep. Look, people can actually swim through the moat near it, and they'll be able to get in through this way. So you could be attacked through all the main gates at once, and then they'll send another force around the side that will slip in unannounced and manage to attack you through there and kind of break in without you even noticing it. Very, very cool idea. I love the idea of both defending and attacking with that. It just sounds so cool. All these little objectives you're now going to have to start considering, the different ways people can get in. Very cool. And also breaks up that kind of slowed down pace with just kind of hitting doors all the time. You actually have all these different objectives you can go for, different gates to attack at different times, figuring out which gate has the least resistance from the enemies at and going to that one. Very, very cool. Anyway, as you can see, the passageway does seem to go a long further here. You can swim down it, but it seems to be a bit of a dead end. I'm not quite sure what's going on there. I did have a bit of a look around for jumping puzzles or something like that, maybe a small passage I'd missed, but there didn't seem to be one. I'm not sure why that's down there. Maybe someone could go hide down there at some point, but I'm really not sure what purpose that would serve. In any case, what we're going to do now, obviously because we own the keep, I could just go straight through, and we're going to go past the gate and into this mysterious portal. Now, my initial impression, as you can see, we've hit a loading screen here. It is still in the Eternal Battlegrounds, as we were told, this massive dungeon that exists. But it's not how I imagined it to be. I thought it would just exist entirely underneath the main map as we knew it, but that's not the case. So as you'll load in, you'll find you'll be on this big pedestal thing, and there's 3 of them, one with each gate, I presume, for each team that people will be coming through here. And once you drop down that into the main chamber, you're not getting back up. There's no other way to get up unless there's a small jumping puzzle. As of filming this right now, I went in game and explored and did this, and I've actually met some people and we had a little bit of a look, but I'm actually still down there, and aside from using a waypoint, I'm not 100% sure how you can get out, or if you even can get out once you've committed to this zone, which is going to be quite interesting. Just to clear this up, actually, I've come in and had a good look around at the start, but it certainly seems like this is a very big place, and I've not been everywhere, and you won't see everywhere on the footage of this video. I'm thinking later on tonight I'll probably put out another one that shows some extra areas, which I'll explain in a minute, that I've been able to see. Anyway, I did a little bit of exploring as soon as I found my way in, and immediately found myself just straight on a jumping puzzle. Just literally almost the moment I'd got in the area. Jumping puzzles now have actually been sprinkled throughout World vs. World, not just in this big area, but all over the place. But they seem to be a big component of what the gameplay's like down here. So I got onto the jumping puzzle. First time I found this, I couldn't actually figure out exactly where to go. But as I said, I did meet some people when we were down here on my team, and one of them in particular had figured out how to get further past here. So so we'll cut forward in a moment and continue on. But you might think actually that jumping puzzles might not work too well in a world versus world environment, because bear in mind, I'm running around right now. This is a fully PvP zone. If someone on one of the other teams comes close to me, they can attack me and they can kill me. There's a lot of tension going on. You're never sure what specifically is going to happen next, because people could come out of anywhere, which is a very interesting thought. But then how does that combine with actually playing jumping puzzles where you might want more time? If it actually is a jumping puzzle and you need to have the time to figure out where to move next and you actually get the reward, does that really mesh very well when someone could come out and attack you out of nowhere? Well, it seems ArenaNet didn't think it would mesh entirely well. I like that there's the tension there, but they have added a mechanic down here which functions as like a reward for the jumping puzzles. I'll show you in a minute. I'm about to cut it so that we can see. But there's actually something very interesting they're doing down here to do with stealth, and we'll see that in a second. Anyway, I kind of abandoned the jumping puzzle, started climbing around on some walls, as you can see here. I almost regret not showing off some of the scenery for a little bit longer, because it really does look absolutely fantastic here. As you can see, there's these big walls and areas all over the place, but it doesn't seem like you can quite get to them too easily. Lots of ledges and outcrops. There's this place here on the right-hand side. I did go down there and just found it to be a bit of a dead end, so I'll cut that out. There probably is something there, some kind of a jumping puzzle, but I never found out exactly what that was. But yeah, I met up with this person here, and as you can see, she is invisible, or he's invisible, and I'll explain why that happens in a second. But so we'll cut forward. This is back into the main area, Burke with the pedestals just up there, and there was something interesting here that you might have already noticed, but I didn't show off the first time. There's this crazy beam of light in the middle of the room that sort of goes across the chasm here. It's this weird mechanism, and actually I noticed when my cursor went over it, it looked like I could activate it in some way, but when I went over there didn't seem to be any possible way of doing that. So there is some kind of mechanic or something going on here. I don't think this is purely visual. I think the idea of this massive dungeon is to get to where that beam of light is shining to, which could be very interesting. And indeed, going all the way over there, I think is just going to be a big series of jumping puzzles. It definitely looks like you can move around over there. There's torches hinting that perhaps there could be stuff going on. It's just a matter of figuring your way across. I'm wondering if maybe when you do get over there, there's going to be some kind of mechanic. Like, I could easily imagine that beam of light changing color depending on what team had claimed it or something, and that's going to give you some kind of a bonus in World vs. World. Don't forget, World vs. World, as we see it in this beta, is pretty much how ArenaNet intend to ship it with, except for adding a lot more polish to it, which does mean that any more mechanics and stuff like that probably won't be added beyond this point, or other areas. That was something that was asked in the Reddit Ask Me Anything yesterday, so do bear that in mind. But yeah, this is us going off into this left-hand area. I'll cut this out because honestly, there wasn't anything here. I mean, it certainly looks like there's stuff around. I don't know whether that's just really good world building or what, but we couldn't find anything, certainly. So anyway, here we go. This is me back up at the jumping puzzle before with my two companions. That non actually is awesome. He keeps giving me a speed boost, which, as you might know, in Guild Wars 2 is very, very handy for the jumping puzzles, especially as you can see there, I don't actually have one on my bar. This character is the character literally from the previous beta that I just had and just decided to throw up. Anyway, there was where we had to go. We had to kind of turn around and jump up onto this pillar, which would let you get onto the roof, give you another fantastic view of the big beam of light and the big area over across there. As you can see, it's very easy to see that you can move around, and that looks like either that's a graphical issue or that is the moon moving around up there. If that's the moon, I have no idea what that could mean. It definitely did look like the night sky. Anyway, the next bit of the jumping puzzle is to jump from that corner over to the far edge. And that, I'll tell you what, is a complete pain to do. I only fail it once on the video, but it is very annoying. You need to be right on the edge of that if you don't have a speed boost. It's a very difficult jump to make. But I do manage to do it the second time. Hooray for that. I've never been too bad at platforming. So you can jump over, get onto these platforms up here, and you'll find that on the right hand side there's this small passageway that's slightly obscured by the moss, and when you move into it, as you can see there, me walking for a second, you get this this magical font here, which you can come over to. It looks very beautiful, very nice, as most of Guild Wars 2 does. When you activate it, this is the mechanic that seems to be at play down here in this dungeon. It will stealth you. Not just stealth you, but permanently stealth you. As you can see, all my skills have been locked out and unavailable for use, so I can't actually deal damage to people in that way while you're stealthed. But for as long as I choose to be, I can be invisible, and other people on other teams cannot see me until I activate skill 1 and turn it off. So I can use use this to jump out at people in World vs. World, and they could, in theory, use it to jump out on me. But more interestingly, I think this is being used because there's so much jumping puzzle stuff, it seems, down in this big dungeon that this gives you peace of mind, at least in a small way, while you're participating down here, so that you know that the people around you aren't going to be able to attack you. And what I actually like to think of, quite a scary thought, is that I'm down here invisible right now. How many other people on other teams are also trying to do the same thing as me, get through this area, also invisible and running around right next to me? It's a really, really interesting thought. I very much like the idea of it. So anyway, yeah, that's basically my first dip into this new area. That's how to get there, guys. This is what's waiting for you when you're in here. A very small part of the dungeon itself. As I say, I'm hoping that later on in the day, once I've found some more stuff, I'll come up with a little bit of an update video telling you more. But hopefully this has been a nice look, and it hasn't spoiled too much for you either. That is the new dungeon that's in World vs. World, and it looks very, very interesting. I can't wait to get back in game. I literally haven't even looked out. I just wanted to do daily for you, and I'm going to go straight back in. So yeah, thanks very much for watching, guys. No link in the description for footage today because it came from me, and I guess I'll see you tomorrow for lore, mechanics, PvP, anything like that. We'll see what happens. I hope you guys enjoyed the beta. It is live right now, in case you didn't twig from watching this video. Go have fun, and I'll see you tomorrow. See you next time, everyone. Oh, no, hold on, no, we can't stop here. Okay, I just went straight back in game and immediately went back to this thing that I thought you could activate. Turns out you can actually trigger it. You've just got to stand in the right place. It's quite weird to interact with. There's no animations or anything like that, but if you do get the right angle, you can hit F and it will actually do something. It doesn't look like it did much, but... ah, voila, see, there's another beam of light, and it actually shows you where you can travel to. So this actually showed me where the next bit of the jumping puzzle was. So it seems that that area I was just in is kind of a little area off the side that will allow you to become stealth, which will give you an upper hand when you're continuing with the main path later on in the whole World vs. World aspect. It does actually run out, as you will see in a moment while I'm playing along. You are on a time limit. But it generally seems pretty good for the actual needs of the jumping puzzle. It seems like you should be able to get pretty damn far in it while you are still stealth, and hopefully find another font if you get to another hidden or side area at some point as well, which could be another interesting thing if they end up going with that. I'm not going to show you too much of this. I have progressed quite far into it, but I do still want this to be just a little bit of a peek. But this is my first look. I realise that obviously you can't get across there, and I think that maybe this little hole here takes you into a smaller new area. So I dropped down and immediately realised no, that's not the case at all. So I've screwed up, but as we're about to see, this was amazing. I absolutely love this. As we're about to see, when I decide, right, I need to get straight back up there, I'm running along, and there's a guy literally just behind me. There was a Maguma invader just back there. He obviously didn't see me, and he doesn't see me right now because I'm stealthed, but he's gone up there, and he's running along, and he's just shown me accidentally exactly where I need to go. It was off there on the left through that hole in the right. So now I'm excited, and I'm thinking, oh god, I want to chase this guy down. This whole experience that's about to happen very much reminds me of Tomb Raider. Absolutely loved it. Tomb Raider 1, where you're chasing one of the guys as you're trying to get forward. It was very cool. So what starts now, as you can see there, my stealth's run out, which made me worry a little bit. I suddenly realised, oh god, this isn't good. If he sees me now, he can fight me. Obviously, I'm not going to be able to get the jump on him. But I continue to chase. We come up here on the right-hand side, and we will continue on. And I keep seeing him just off in the distance, after every little jump. The actual jumping puzzle, it seems so far, for these earlier bits anyway, it's actually quite simple. It's just figure out where to go rather than execute really difficult jumps, which I think is the preferable way of doing jumping puzzles. It's figuring out where to go rather than making people do ridiculous stuff. But we can come around here, and you'll see him off there in the distance actually in a moment when I come round. He's just exiting this area, as you can see there, and I'm getting a bit closer. He still doesn't know I'm there though. He hasn't turned around, he hasn't seen me. So I get ready to attack. He stops just off here. I immediately pop frenzy and start going nuts, but it's mostly out of range. But I'm doing a lot more damage than I thought I was going to. But he goes around the corner. I try and jump and fall, which completely freaks me out. I realise that he might get away, but thankfully he messes up a jump too. and he's just been completely knocked out. I kick him into the water and finish him off. I mean, fantastic. Absolutely brilliant. I'm loving it. There's going to be so much fun stuff going on down here. What I did from here, I didn't film, but I continued on and got back up to where I needed to be. Obviously, we both had to climb up. He teleported off. Maybe he'll be back later. Maybe he won't. I went for some stealth. Maybe I'll see him at some point. But yeah, definitely more videos later, guys. Definitely more videos. Just wanted to tack this onto the first one. And I guess I'll see you later. See yous.